Welcome back to Bearded Barbecue and Adventures. I'm your host, Hank Hill. I've learned the error of my ways and know that propane is now not the only answer. So I've grown out this luscious beard and ready to prove it to you. All right, guys, I'm not really Hank Hill, right? But he always brings a good point. We don't want our food to taste anything like chemicals, which is why I don't use any lighter fluid or any accelerants like that. One of the things that I do use, we're going to talk about today, is the tumbleweed. It's like a paraffin wax. It's easy to get charcoal in a charcoal chimney. Put this under there, get it lit up, and that's how we're going to light the pit barrel cooker today. Tons of different ways that you can do this. This is just the way I prefer because it's the quickest and the cleanest. So follow along with me. We're going to go out. We're going to get that pit barrel cooker going. And then we're going to do what you've all been waiting for, and that is to smoke some baby back ribs. Now, I'm going to kind of walk you through my process and how I do it. I've done it a number of times. Always turns out great. The pit barrel cooker is an amazing instrument to use whenever you're smoking ribs. So whenever we light it up, we'll talk a little bit more about the pit barrel cooker, how it works, and all that kind of good stuff. But in the meantime, let's get out to the backyard and get it fired up. All right, guys, we've talked about the pit barrel cooker before. It's a pretty good little tool, and what you do is you have this charcoal basket that it comes with, and the instructions say to fill it up level with the Kingsford Classic Blue Charcoal Briquette. So that's what we're going to do first. Spread those around a little bit. Need a few more on this side, so just kind of spread them out where you need it. And there you have it. What we're going to do is we're going to add a couple of hickory chunks to it. And the whole idea is you want to give those ribs enough smoke that they taste good, but you don't want to overwhelm it. So a couple of chunks that size will work just perfectly. Now, the idea behind the pit barrel cooker is it's really more of a kind of set it and forget it type experience. Basically, when you get the pit barrel cooker and you get it assembled, which doesn't take long at all, it tells you to set the dampener at the bottom to your sea level. So here in Texas, we're right at sea level basically. So we just open that damper just like very slightly. And then the rebar at the top, when we see those put in, that controls your airflow. So even if you're not hanging something, that rebar still has to go in there because it's the science behind it. This is something that you do not want to keep checking temperature. I've never looked at the temperature at what the pit barrel cooker runs. I think it runs somewhere around 300 degrees or so, maybe 275. But it's not designed to be something that you control the temp on. It's really designed to be like a set it and forget it, like I said. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and get some charcoal added to the chimney, and then we'll get that tumbleweed, and I'll show you guys how we get that lit. Now, because we've already got the basket loaded in the pit barrel cooker, you don't need a full chimney. You only want about 15 pieces or so of charcoal in there, just enough to get those lit so when you dump them on the charcoal basket, it heats up properly. All right, guys, I think those coals have been heating up, and they're looking like they're ready. Let's go ahead and dump them in. All right, guys, I don't know if you can see real well, but we're gonna lower these down and just kind of dump a little bit on each side just to kind of get that fire started. Okay, as you can see, I kind of got them dumped in there. It's probably hard to see with all the smoke, but I'm gonna spread those out for just a little bit. Just so we get an even burn started all the way around there. Oh man, sorry about all the smoke. All right, should be good. We'll let this grill preheat, and then we'll get those ribs and get them fixed up, and then get them back out here on the smoker. All right, guys, we're going to season up these baby back ribs. One of the things I like to try to do is remove the membrane, but the membrane gave me a little bit of difficulty on this one today. So what I did was, I was trying to film it, but I could not get the membrane removed. So what I did is I just took my knife and I scored it down these lines here. Then I kind of went this way, scored it some more, and then I went across the other side. That's a technique that a lot of people use, and it's one that I use if I'm just fighting with the membrane. I hate removing membranes off of ribs, mainly because I'm not good at it. There's some guys in these videos, man, they just come off in one pull. And while that's happened for me a couple of times, it's not consistent. So sometimes I revert to this method. So I've already scored them on the back where the membrane is, and I've put that mustard binder on there. So we're gonna flip it over and we're gonna do the other side, and then we'll get them seasoned up, and I'll show you all the seasoning and everything I'm using today. So, hey, please leave in the comments if you've got tips that you use to get the membrane off. Man, I'm all ears. I've tried the butter knife method where you try to get up under it. I've tried using a paper towel to get some extra leverage and grip on there. And like I said, I've got it to work sometimes, but there's nothing I've found yet, for me anyway, that's like, man, I can do it every time. So if you got the magic bullet, man, you need to let me know. Put them in the comments, because I'd love to be able to try something, because I love cooking ribs, but this is the part that I least enjoy, and that is trying to, you know, get that membrane off. So what we're going to use today is some Famous Dave's seasoning. And so we're going to, I think there's enough in there. It's called Famous Dave's Rib Rub. So we're going to try that out. Just kind of set it on there and kind of liberally get it all over these ribs here. And you can kind of pat it down in there. I've heard some people like rub it in there, but I find if you just kind of pat it in, that mustard acts as a great binder. That's the only reason you put it on there. Some people use oil, but I just use mustard. It's simple. Just pat those ribs down, get that seasoning to stick all in there, and then we're gonna come over on this side that we scored, and we're gonna drop some rub on there too. So, and man, that rub smells really good. So I've used this before, and it turned out really well. Family really liked it, so we're just gonna kind of get it down in there. There's a spot there that I kind of missed. All right, now we're gonna flip it over. I'm just gonna kind of get the other side. Any other bald spots that happen there, we're gonna get. All right, we're going to let that sit, but what I'm going to go ahead and do in the meantime is go ahead and get my hooks and go ahead and place them in there as well. So what I typically do with ribs is I will do 2 hooks. So I'm going to make sure I wash my hands after this, but you're going to go ahead and you're going to come down about 1-2 ribs, and you're going to poke this through, and it's going to go through just like that. And you see it's going to leave the hang. Then what you're going to do is you're going to come in and you're going to grab that hook there, and you're going to go down and poke another hole through here if you can get it, because we don't want these ribs to fall off in the pit barrel. That's never happened to me, but as you can see, they're going to hang there just like that. So there you have it. We're going to get these things on the pit barrel here soon. The pit barrel's out there warming up, and then we'll throw them on, and it's going to be a fantastic dinner. So we'll see you guys in a bit. All right, guys, we're gonna check it out now and kind of see what we're looking at here. We'll see those ribs are the right color yet. Yeah, I think that's about right. We're gonna go ahead and wrap these and put them back on. So over here, we'll get them wrapped up. Obviously, when we're gonna wrap these, we're gonna go ahead and pull these hooks out. Kind of wrap the ribs up. Oh, rip the glove. Sometimes that happens. Put down. Put them bone side down back on the. Go ahead and put my grate in here. You can put your grate back in the grill there, and once you wrap the ribs, you don't have to hang them anymore. You can just put them directly on this grate. Works out pretty well. Just want to work quickly because you don't want the grill to heat up super hot once you get all this oxygen flowing back in there. So I'm going to grab the rack of ribs and put them back on there. All right, just set them in there like that. Put the rebar back in. That is important for the airflow. If you read on the pit barrel cooker, it's very important that rebar stays in all the time because you've got your damp at the bottom and then you've got your rebar at the top. And you can see it's got these like breathing holes that will allow air to get out. You know, takes the air in and lets it come out. So, there we go. All right, everybody, we've got the ribs out from the wrap. They've been on there for an hour. You can see that the meat is already starting to pull back from the bone, which is what we're looking for. It's got a good color. So now what we're gonna do is you just kind of put on your favorite barbecue sauce, whatever that may be. We really like stuff sticky sweet. It's some good stuff. So we're just gonna kind of brush that on there. And I'll do this probably another time or two, just until you get that stickiness and that rib will just soak into the barbecue sauce rather soak into the ribs there. So in good shape. All right, we're gonna go ahead and put the lid back on. We'll catch you guys in a little bit. All right, guys, I have slathered this with barbecue sauce a couple of times, and so now it is time to pull it off of the smoker. Oh yeah, they are ready to come up now. So what we're gonna do is just go ahead and pick them up. Oh my gosh, yeah, they'll break apart if I'm not careful. All right, we're gonna go ahead and put those inside, let them rest for a little bit, then we'll cut into them, see how they taste. And give it a little bit of a taste test. That's how I like my ribs. They don't fall off the bone. You get a clean bite through. I don't know if you can see that smoke ring around there or not, but man, they turned out really good. I think I'm gonna get another bite. That's good. All right, guys. Well, that does it for another episode of Bearded Barbecue and Adventures. Tonight, baby back ribs turned out fantastic. So if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel, like and comment on those videos, and we'll see you next time. Have a great night.